What's up guys? So in this video I'm going to show you how to add visual editing to your Astro website using Sanity. So if you ever wanted to let clients or your teammates edit your content directly on your website, this feature that we're about to talk about will make your life so much easier. So let me show a demo of what I mean. This is hosted on this spot right here, but if I hover on it, you'll see this button that says open in studio for each of these texts, and it's not showing on this image. I don't really know why, but I can still edit it from our CMS. So all this data are being fetched from Sanity, so I can open this from the studio, or I can just come to my contents, then goes to presentation. So I can select the parts that I want to edit. Let's say I just want to edit this about me. So I can just say get rid of the me. You can see that it's no longer here. So let me just add my name. I'll just say Lawrence. So you can see Lawrence is being added right here. So with this, I can get a preview of how my website is on my studio, and I can toggle between different viewports, either for phone or for desktop. And if I'm fine with what I'm seeing right here, I can just click on publish, and it's going to affect my website as a whole. So I believe this is a very useful feature you are going to need if you are building websites for clients, so that when you are done with the project, you just have to give them the studio and they just have to update it whenever they like. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the video. All right, so before we go into integrating the visual editing to our website, I just want to explain what visual editing is. So basically, visual editing allows you to update content on your site while seeing changes in real time. So it basically saves you the stress of updating your website on your studio. Then you have to click publish, and sometimes you have to wait for a webhook to run for you to see the changes, which takes some time. So visual editing simplifies that process by making us see a preview of how our website is going to look when it's live. So before we go on to integrate the visual editing, I just want to state it clear that you need to have basic knowledge about Astro and Sanity, and how to embed Sanity in your Astro project. I'll leave links to a video on how to do that in the comment section. So I will advise you watch that video in order for you to follow along very well with this. But if you already use Astro and Sanity, you'll be good to go. So if I head back to our code, I have this about document or schema that has some fields that you can see right here. So nothing fancy. I just defined the schema and populated the data on my CMS. And if I come to this about the Astro, I'm just bringing in the Sanity client that will enable me to fetch the data from my about document. So we can head back, and I will leave a link to this documentation in the description. So if I scroll down to enabling visual editing, there are some steps, and I would say that Sanity doesn't really have good documentation, or maybe I'm just the one that's dumb and I don't grab things easily. So what I'm going to do is that I won't follow this step by step, because I was a bit confused about the docs, so I had to figure some things out by myself. but let's see how it goes. So the first thing to do is to bring in the presentation tool. So we can do that by going to our Sanity config, and we can just import it from here. So say presentation, you know what, I'll say from Sanity slash presentation. So call it presentation 2, and we can pass it right here and say presentation 2, and this is going to have an object that will pass in some properties. So I guess, was it here? I don't think it's here, so they didn't put it on this place. So what you do right here is to pass in the preview URL. So the preview URL, like it implies, is the port you want to preview the visual editing. So in our case, this is going to be on sanity underscore studio underscore preview underscore URL. So we'll define this on our env file in a bit. So basically this is what we are passing, and you know what we do, I would just say create a constant and say sanity preview URL and say let's just bring it in, and we'll paste it here, and I will just call this http. You know what, I'm too lazy to type. I'll just copy this port right here and just paste it right here. So basically, once you deploy to whatever service you use, like Netlify or Vercel, you just have to change this to the endpoint. So I'll save this, I'll come back to the sanity.config, and right here I will say import .meta.env dot, then call it let me copy this again. So if this is not there, we just default to the initial port, which is this one, and this should be in string. All right, cool. So the next step is to enable Stega. So if we come back here, I believe, okay, yeah, it's to enable Stega, and basically Stega is short for studio editing, and is a feature in Sanity that allows direct content editing right from our live website. So basically, you just need to pass in this endpoint right here to enable us to edit our content from our admin without us leaving the site. So basically, I'll copy this right here, and I'll come to the astro.config, and under the studio base part, I'll paste this right here. So it should match. If you call this something like studio, make sure it matches it as well, just for easy access. All right, so the next step is to create a loader query helper function. So if you scroll down, yeah. So before I explain what it is, let's just go to our studio or our admin right here, and you can see we already have this presentation. So if I click on it, you would see that it will try to fetch the data from the port we specified, but it's not going to connect because there are some few things we need to implement. So we can come back right here, and I'll copy this, and inside this lib, I'll do it inside this lib folder and say loader query.ts, and I'll paste this in. So there's a lot going on right here. You don't need to know what this is for is going to work, but basically the code right here lets us to load Sanity queries with built-in support for visual editing, which is going to make the content more dynamic and user-friendly. So basically we are just using the Sanity client, which means that when we want to make changes to a particular document, we no longer need this Sanity client. We now use a load query function that will allow us to have this visual editing feature. So I hope that makes sense. So basically we're just setting the visual editing enabled to true, and we also need to create this in on our env file as well. So I'll copy this one, go to .env, and I'll paste it here and set it to true. So you need a token as well. As you can see, I've already created one, but I'm going to show you. Then I'll just copy this name and replace it with what I have here. It should be n. And in order for you to create your token, so you just need to head over to this button right here and click on manage project. Then you go to API, select tokens, and you can see I already have a token, but you just have to just click on add API token and give it a name. So I call this for post request, give it any name, and set the permissions to developer. So this is working for me, but this is not supposed to be in viewer. So set it to developer so that you can be able to have access to read and write data to your CMS. Then it's going to give you a token, a one-time token that you just have to copy and paste on your env file right here. So we don't need this anymore. Okay, I think we're cool with that. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create our about document using the load query we just created. So we head back to our about.astro. Then we want to wrap this so basically we want to wrap these documents inside the load query. So we no longer need this right here. So we can say await, and we say load query. So right here, let's make sure it's not imported. I think I have to import it manually. Say load query right here. Then we'll open parentheses, and inside this paste this, and we'll pass in a query right here, and this, and we just have to copy everything here and paste it right here. So delete this one and we'll save. All right, so one more thing is that it's going to give us access to a data, this data right here. So we can call the data about, and we can destructure it. So we'll pass in the about prop so that we'll have better type safety. So I'm getting an error somewhere. So let's query. I don't know where this. Let's try to load this one again. If it's not loading up, what's causing that? Okay, let's try one more time. So let me import it again. Say import load query. But you don't need to add the TS. So I guess let's go back to the docs. Let's see the name. Okay, load query. Okay, I'm calling it loader query. So this, I think the issue is here. So load query. Let's try that one more time. All right, so that error is gone. So we can save this and let's confirm we are still seeing our data. So log out the about. So let's check if the about is coming. So I'll refresh this and I guess yeah, so it's working fine. So I can bring this down and get rid of this. So basically we are almost there. So now that we can have access to the fields that's in this about document, what we need to do now is to bring in the visual editing component. So we'll go to our layout, to Astro file. So this should be done on your main file, which is usually the layout or whatever you called it that's inside this layout folder. So I'll bring in the visual editing. So sometimes it does not import, so you just have to do it by hand. So say visual editing from Sanity. Okay, but I think we need to pass in Astro. So working with Astro. All right. So basically, if I go back to the dogs, sorry that I'm just toggling over the places. So basically, the video editing component is here, and we need to pass in these two props right here. So they are saying this index is optional, but we'll just copy it anyways and we'll paste it right here. So we can save. Then this video editing enabled, we can just copy it from here and paste it right here. So remember, this is already set to true on our 11 file. So we can save, and if everything goes well, we can now be able to edit our content. So okay, yeah, so it's working fine. So you see that I can now edit all these from our studio. So if I click on open in studio, it's going to take me to the presentation tab where I can now edit the content that I want to edit. All right, so we don't need the second one again. So let's say I want to change this back to about me. So I'll clear this out and say about me. So this will automatically refresh. And you can see about me right here, but this is still showing about Lawrence. But once I click on publish right now and I'm okay with what I'm saying, then this will change to about me. So once this is published, now I can refresh this. You can see that this is about me. So there's one more thing that I just remembered. So this is just one part. I will do a better video where I'll build a project implementing this feature. But in case if you want to apply this to your project and for the presentation you can't see some styles you've already made, there is also a way to go about it. So inside this lib folder, you can create a get clean class name ts. So what this clean class name does is that it enables the visual editing to see or get the real style that you set to it. So I can't really show that right here because I just have just text. So in terms of like things like button that you've already styled, then maybe you are not seeing that styling on this video editing, just need to create this get clean class name, and you import this Stega clean from, can't type today, what's going on, at sanity client slash Stega. Then we export a function called get clean class name. I'll pass in an element and say this should be type string, and we'll return Stega clean, which is this function right here, and passing the element. So basically Stega clean is going to just set the initial style that that element has. So if I go to the about the Astro, for this style, maybe this is not what I want. I just need to pass in the what did you call it again? Yeah, so we say get clean class name, and I will just pass in this as a string. So you see what I mean? So this is how to implement it. And I saw this online because it's not in the docs provided right here. Someone talked about it on his channel, so I decided to just pick that and include it to what I have for you today. So guys, that's it. We've come to the end of the tutorial. Do well to share the video if you found it helpful, and also leave your questions on the comment section if you have any. Till next time.